Welcome back, everybody, to the Classic Games Done Quick 20th Anniversary Special, where we are recreating our first ever GDQ event, Classic Games Done Quick, which happened in 2010. Just about 10 years old in a couple days. So we're good. We decided to recreate the entire schedule, bring in some new runners, bring in also the original runners as well. And one of our original runners is here right now. That's Mike Uyama. So he is running Contra Hardcourt, just like he did 10 years ago. So welcome, Mike.
Yeah, so not a ton. And I also have FCJ2000 and TheDrifter helping me on commentary. They are also two runners of this game who have two good times in this game and have helped push the time down since my CGDQ run. Just one request. I request that I not know what my CGDQ time was because I have no idea what it is. And I just want to see how my time compares to my CGDQ time after I'm done with it.
Sure.
So are we ready to go?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So timing is a little bit weird. It's after I pick my character and I land on the ground after the intro sequence. And hold on 1 second. Just
playing on the US version, best version.
Exactly. So the big difference is that the US and Japanese version, the Japanese version, you actually have 3 hit points. The US version, you die in 1 hit. So it's going to be 8 seconds after this, after I land on the ground. I'll try to say time, but if I don't, it's when I land. All right, so time. All right, so I'm sliding because that's the fastest form of movement. It is committal, but it's also invincible. And I don't want to collect the D right there, and I just barely didn't collect it.
Right.
But I do want to collect the A because that is a good weapon. And the optimal strat is to actually slide through there, but it's actually really difficult to do in RNG. So it's just better to jump through there and not get stuck there.
Yeah, it's kind of a Contra tradition to have the first stage be just a horrible run and gun section with RNG in it. And this game is no different.
Yeah, fortunately the RNG is pretty light in this game overall. This game has a lot of boss fights. The producer for this game is the same as Contra 3. And I do love Brownie's idle pose.
Yeah.
Anyway, so a new strat here is that we actually use the bomb in this boss. It's slightly faster to use it here than on the stage for, I don't even know what you call that boss. But basically prevents him from firing the laser.
Right.
And we're about to get the most important weapon of the run, the yo-yo. The yo-yo is ridiculously powerful in this.
Yeah. The yo-yo is really strong, mostly because of the weird lock-on mechanic that it has.
Yeah, we're actually not going to be using that lock-on mechanic on this boss too much. We're mostly going to be point-blanking this boss and rapid mashing, and if we have a good fight, then we'll be able to completely skip the second phase.
Yeah. You're Deadeye Joe.
Alright, that was a decent fight. The best fights, you won't even do the second jump, but that was still a very good fight.
Yeah.
And now we're going to make our first choice. This game has 4 basic routes and a secret ending route. You can either go to the lab or chase Deadeye Joe. Since I chased Deadeye Joe in my CGDQ run, I think it won by like $20 or so, because that's how high the stakes were back then. That's what we're doing in this run. So I'm still using the yo-yo to take out these guys. It can be a little risky because if you're not fast enough, they can start firing. But overall, it's pretty easy to take them out.
Yeah.
Alright, so this is going to be the first instance of the lock-on, and let's see if I get a good one. I think I was a little late. Oh no, that's actually a really good lock-on.
Yeah,
That was pretty good.
Yeah, if the boss doesn't fire, that's a really good lock-on.
Yeah.
So the way the lock-on works is that basically, before the boss is vulnerable, you fire your yo-yo, and once the boss is vulnerable, it'll just lock on to the weak point. Because normally, the yo-yo kind of goes back and forth like this.
Yeah.
But if you get the lock-on trick, it just locks on whatever point you have.
Yeah, the whole yo-yo does damage, but that red tip seems to do even more damage.
Yeah.
So what the lock-on does is the red tip will like stay inside the hitbox, and it just does a ton of...
Okay. So this is another lock-on trick. You have to do this very late.
Right.
And we got it.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of the lock-on
And
trick.
oh, that was a really good fight.
Yeah. This is the mode 7 level, by the way, which really strange looking.
Yeah, it's using Genesis scaling. Genesis does what Nintendo does.
The weird thing about the text too is you have to hold it to advance it, and then you have to press the button again to go to the
it's
next.
The same button. It's the B button or the fire button. So like if it looks like I'm a little slow in the text, it's not really my fault per se. It's just like a weird quirk of how the text works in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to almost kind of memorize what they're going to say, so you know how long each message is, so you know when to release B. It's like the hardest part.
It really is.
It really is. Yeah. There's like time saves just for text scrolling.
So Brownie is so short, he can just walk under the missile like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brownie just has all the perks.
Yeah. Fang is actually the fastest character in this game, but he's also the hardest to use because he has such a tall hitbox, and the technique you use to get fast times with him is actually very strenuous with the mashing. While you do have to mash with Brownie, you can actually be a pretty slow masher, and it doesn't really affect your time much.
Yeah, like it doesn't. What you get from it.
Yeah, I would say it's no more than like 5 or 10 seconds overall.
There's a hidden entrance here to the hidden ending in this stage.
Yeah.
You can only access it in this stage.
Now we have my favorite boss in all of Contra, Neumann.
Neumann
in the virtual zone.
It is.
Okay, so ideally, when I'm hitting this boss, I want to hit the front of it, so it's not allowed to shoot an arrow. Shot an arrow, so I just want to dodge it. Okay, that's kind of bad. It's not a disaster because I will get the yo-yo after this fight. It's just kind of irritating that I have to do this.
Yeah.
And that boss can be annoying because it could just dive right at you right at the beginning.
Yeah, and it almost
right there.
So I lost like a couple of seconds, like maybe 5 or so seconds over that, but it's fine.
Yeah. Brownie is the only character that has the double jump. And you can also
get the lock on. I did. Okay.
Which is pretty helpful.
Yeah, in this section, you try to get a lock on. You shoot the yo-yo and you kind of wiggle back and forth to kind of like hone in the yo-yo, like locked in. It's
yeah. I don't think I got a good lock on, so I'm just gonna hit it.
Like if the boss is
unfortunate that I died there, but that's kind of hard to deal with if you get bad RNG there.
Yeah. This boss fight's really cool. It transforms into different. Transforms in the tank and then the helicopter. Really unique.
But as I said before, fortunately, that's like no more than a 5 seconds or so.
Yeah, you can lock on him, kill him, save your bomb. It's one of the strats Skinamarsh has been doing.
I mean, it is very fortunate that was the yo-yo drop boss right there. So. And this
section's a little scary right here. There's this giant swarm of enemies that get you, and you have to like take control over them and like keep it. Or if you let one slide through, it can just go.
Yeah, fortunately, the A weapon is very good at handling it. But if you lose the A weapon, or if you accidentally pick up the D weapon, you can actually screw yourself over really badly here.
Yeah.
So here's another lock on, and let's see if I get it. This is one that saves a lot of time if I get it.
Yeah. This boss has...
Oh, I was a little early, and I got bad RNG.
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually really bad RNG.
Yeah.
Usually, it won't even fire first, and it did the red fire twice.
Yeah, it's bad.
Usually, you can just kill it before it really does much of anything, because usually they'll just try to lower the bridge and raise it so that like it crash in the boss's face. And that's the pattern you want. I'd say that's probably about a 90% chance. Like, that's usually what...
Yeah, it's almost fortunate that you missed the lock on, because if you would have got the lock on, you probably would have just stayed standing there, and you might have got killed before you killed.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, they happened to be in practice run, so I was actually kind of prepared for that.
Yeah, he can be sneaky.
This guy is the biggest run player in the game right here.
Yep, this is the good pattern. So this is the best pattern you can get, and this is the one that you want if you're really going for a record.
Yeah. So you can just get right up next to him and just mash and just one cycle him. And then he has the second phase where he just
Yeah, so you don't want to stay too close to him because if you try to point blank him right there, he'll kind of walk into you right there.
Yeah, he has kind of a larger hitbox than he appears to have.
Oh, that was a really good fight.
Yeah, it's really good.
That's basically like the earliest time that you can kill that boss. Alright, and so this boss is kind of like an auto-scroller, like it's just really long.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine the wall climber boss in Contra 3, but like 3 minutes long.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's building up
this phase is really easy, you just point blank mash.
Yeah.
The two weapons I really want to keep here are obviously the yo-yo and the B weapon. The B weapon is important for the final form, so that's why I'm on the A weapon. It's pretty unlikely that I'll die, but if I do die, dying with the A weapon is way better than dying with any of the other two weapons.
Yeah. If you do the fight instead of chase in the beginning, you get the different like pattern here on this stage. Deadeye Joe actually comes out, yeah.
Yeah, I know Deadeye Joe comes out. I don't remember different patterns. So like this is kind of what you want technically, but you can kind of like push him around like this and then make him go all over the screen if you feel like it. It's really just up to you.
I'm always too terrified to shoot him.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, because of that.
Exactly. Like it's pretty risky to do that, but I figure it's a marathon. It's for fun, so it's all good. Yeah, so really, like, the biggest improvement over, like, my 10-year-old run is that, really just the lock-on trick just, like, saves so much time.
I should give credit to a Chinese runner by the name of Opera who ran the Japanese version of this. And he was kind of the one who invented the lock-on trick and invented a lot of the different, like, setups for the lock-on trick. So
I was actually wondering who figured that out.
Yeah, he was kind of working on the game, and he got a pretty good time in the Japanese version for the.
Yeah. So about the Japanese version, since you can take hits, it is beneficial to like just sometimes take hits and just like mash through them with the yo-yo, or if you're playing as Fang, to do the weapon switch trick. I should probably explain Fang a little bit. So basically what you do is that the B and the D weapons have both the same animation, but the D is a charge shot that's very, very strong when charged and very weak when it's not charged. But what you can do is you can insta-charge it from switching from the B weapon to the D weapon, which, so you're constantly swapping through weapons to get instant charge shots. So while he is the strongest character, he's also the one that's most taxing on your fingers. All right, so this is where we use the B weapon simply because it moves the boss the least. And it's also a fairly strong weapon.
This strategy was developed by Nick B. Go Hard. He was the one who discovered that the B doesn't really move him so much. Because if you use the C on him like you'd want to, he just bounces around everywhere. And you miss him a lot because he's flying all over the place.
Nice. We did the Brave strat and we killed him before he completed the loop.
You can do it with the C, it's just like insanely difficult.
Yeah,
Opera did it. Opera did it before, it was really cool. You can kill him before he like even does that laser pattern.
Oh wow! I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, I remember practicing it, but I determined it was too risky. Keep in mind he was playing the Japanese version, so if he got hit, it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, in fact, it's kind of beneficial because then he has my frames. So this is where you can choose to fight or surrender. We're gonna fight.
Yes.
And you get some really good music too.
Right.
The fight is not too difficult.
Yeah.
There's only like one or two parts where I can risk dying. It's most of the phases are just sit here to the left of the door and just kind of mash them. I think I want to be roughly here-ish. And so this one is slightly faster than the current world record run strat right now. It's just a mash up in his face like that and do.
Yeah, I think I actually did a lock on for that little boss right there. Should take a look at mode.
Yeah. You can lock onto, I think, every one of these, except for the flying ones.
Oh, you probably can. I just mash.
Yeah.
When you're this close, like, mashing and lock on, I think they're pretty even. That little flower boss is actually just, like, a little bonus boss. If you let it live, like, it'll give you items. So it can be a decent recovery point if you, like, died a lot during your run or something. Fortunately, we're in pretty good shape, so we don't need to do that.
Yeah.
And I hope you'll love the clickiness of the Genesis 6 button controller, because I'm going to be mashing a lot.
Well, that's a cool thing about the 6-button controllers. The extra 3 buttons that you can use just to change the
shot from 1 to 2, and 2
Yeah.
is a stationary shot, where shot 1 lets you move around. All right, let's see if I can get the trick. I've been pretty good about it, but it depends.
R.I.P. scientist.
Okay, bounces off, and I got it.
Bam. Yeah, easy
Oh,
every
it's
time.
beautiful.
Okay, so we're on the final stage. The final stage is not too difficult, but there is a risky part, and it's at the very beginning. You don't want to slide here, because you can easily slide into an alien chip. I'm not kidding, that's what they are. That's the best way to describe it.
It's
Yeah.
really frustrating because you want to go fast because it's
Exactly.
a speed run, but you're forced to like be cautious because it's at the end of the run and you don't want to like die and ruin everything. So you have to.
And the
like,
thing is, the spawns are random. So
Yeah.
you can easily, like, even if it looks like it's clear, like, one can just spawn from the right and then just ruin your game if you slide.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something slightly risky here, which is go right here.
Ooh. Going with the C. I'm scared to use the C on this section.
Yeah, no, it is scary to use the C. I'm a little too far to the left, but that's fine. Still a good fight. Yeah, you just use a bomb there because, like, it has such a huge hitbox that, like, it's the fastest, most effective way to take care of it, and
Yeah, nice. I swear this is a throwback to the Golden Beast boss, but
I really don't want this form. It's not hard, it's just, like, slightly riskier than, like, getting the orbs. I don't think it's really that much worse for your time, and this is just point blank. And we're fine. Okay, so now we're on auto
nice.
scroller.
Okay.
This part could be a little dangerous just because if you're a non-brownie character, you kind of have to hang out on the bottom and take care of all these enemies, including this gigantic mouth
yeah.
that just devours these enemies. But fortunately, if you have the yo-yo, you can just do that. Although it's still a little risky because, yeah, I'm kind of hanging out on the bottom here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an auto scroller, so you can kind of just use the A as much as possible. So that
So-
way, if you die, you lose your A, and it's not a big.
I talked about Brownie and Fang. Brownie, I would say, is the best character overall. He's definitely the safest and easiest to play. The other two characters, I wouldn't say this is a hard game, but they definitely, I guess, struggle a little more compared to Brownie and Fang, just because they're like actual Contra characters. So they have like actual Contra weapons that like, and they don't really have broken tricks to really like abuse and like really take down the bosses super fast.
There we go.
So final two bosses here. You just want to, kind of jump in her face like that. That was a good fight.
Nice. Easy peasy. Final boss.
Yeah,
Time's coming up
so-
here.
Yeah, you just basically want to get the orb in as much as possible on the heart. So that's why I'm not super mashing, but why I'm also not like letting it linger too.
Yeah,
This
nice
part can-
controlled mash here is nice.
Okay, and time will be when I stop firing and crouching, which
Yeah.
is time.
Bam.
So what was my time?
Your time is
1708.
1708.
Is that a
That's
P?
actually a PB for me by 1 second.
Wow. Nice.
Dang, yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, if I didn't die in that one boss, that might have been like a low 17 or even like a sub 17.
Yeah, that was a fantastic run.
Yeah. Very good. GG. Well done.
So, I know you wanted to find out what your time was at CG. The interesting thing about this is I'm not actually sure how to calculate that because we were looking back, and I think you did another run through.
Yes, I did another run through. I'm not doing the secret ending run this time. I didn't have enough time to practice it. It's not a long run. I just, busy with, GDQ prep and everything. I was just like, I'll do the main run.
So I think the time is somewhere in the 21-minute range, if I had to guess.
Someone is asking what the world record is, and it's a 1640 by Skinomarsh. It is quite a good run. I have found like a couple of improvements since then, but you would have to get both the RNG and execution tool aligned, and you can.
Yeah. You bought my time. I had a 1713.
All right. Well, mean, now that you've seen some of the new strats, maybe we can have a bit of competition. So.
Yeah, it's really nice to see the time go down in this category. I mean, Mike Uyama ran this game a long time ago, and it kind of just was dormant for a while. And then I picked it up, and Drifter picked it up, and it got some action. Opera came up with these strats, and 6 months later, Skinamarsh picked it up and blew all our minds. It's just nice to see the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw the new strats, I was like, oh, what's this lock-on? Like, that saves so much time and stuff like that,
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really cool that even for a game that is considered fairly simple like Contra, there's still tech improvements after all these years. So
yeah, I mean it's kind of an overlooked Contra game, which is a shame because it's such a great Contra game.
Yeah, it has really good spectacle, really great graphics and music.
I love the extra categories. It has 5 different playthroughs you can go through. It's so good.
Yeah, but anyway, I'll be running Gunstar Heroes next on Expert, so you guys can stay tuned for that, and I think it'll be a good time.
Yeah,
That's right.
good luck on that.
Yeah, and thank you for being my commentators, Drifter and FCJ.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, good luck on your future run. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, we'll be right back with Gunstar Heroes, as Mike said, so stick around, and we'll be back in a few minutes.